Also increasing, so are the targets now edging closer to Poland, and that's a scary thought. A number of U.S. troops are stationed there, standing by to respond to even the slightest aggression toward NATO allies. The latest attack about 10 miles or so from that border. Correspondent Robert Sherman live in Poland tonight with the very latest on those U.S. deployments. Robert.
And Martin, the U.S. has about 100,000 service members in Europe, the most that they've had in nearly 20 years, as the Pentagon shifts its forces in the wake of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Russia's military delivering its daily barrage of destruction to Ukraine. And while Ukraine is fighting back, they aren't doing so with NATO troops. Instead, the U.S. stands at the ready with its NATO allies. U.S. troops are strategically positioned all around Europe, in Germany, Italy, Poland, and the United Kingdom, Romania, and Spain. U.S. recently upped the numbers in Poland and Romania because of their proximity to Ukraine. Troops are mostly on training missions alongside military units of NATO allies, like the Aviation Division with 85 helicopters and the Armored Division with artillery and tanks, all based in Poland. Along with training with host nations and working on contingency plans, the presence is meant to reassure our allies.
Part of being in the NATO alliance means that we have a motto which we mean. An attack against one is an attack against all. And the United States takes that commitment very seriously.
The last time troop levels were this high in Europe was in 2005.
When we stand firm, we can back it up with you. Some of the best fighting forces in the world.
Outside of Poland, the U.S. has moved an armored brigade combat team into Germany. The Harry S. Truman aircraft carrier is doing NATO exercise in the Mediterranean. Recently, fighter jets and other warplanes were moved by the Pentagon into Eastern Europe. And another 800 troops, part of an infantry battalion task force already in Europe before the Russian war, were recently moved to the Baltics. And the U.S. has about 750 bases in 80 countries. We have seen a number of U.S. service members at a number of these crossings and these ports of entries, oftentimes providing humanitarian support to refugees as they cross into Poland. Marnie?
Robert, I'd love to talk to you more about the refugee numbers and the influx we've seen now kind of hovering around 3 million or so. You're right there watching it happen. Talk to us about what a day is like in the life of a refugee right now in Poland.
Well, it's a day of uncertainty without question. So first of all, as you're starting to see people waiting in lines for hours on end, not nearly as bad as it was a couple of weeks ago, but still waiting for long periods of time, and then finally getting admission into one of these countries. And then the question is, where do you go from there? Some do have family members in European countries or in Poland, so they're the lucky ones. But there are others who don't know where they're going to be staying. We spoke with one woman who said that they just crossed the border and they couldn't find any housing in Poland because it is just overwhelmed with refugees. And then the question is, do you go to another country somewhere in Europe and wait this out, or do you stay close by and hope that you can go back to your home in Ukraine soon? And will you even have a home to go back to? Those are all questions that people are desperately looking for answers for. And at this time, they just simply can't answer them. It remains uncertain. Marnie?
So many unknowns for millions. Robert, as always, stay safe. We'll be talking to you soon. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.